Spider-Man, Brand New Day has earned $1 billion. And this isn't the only achievement of this film. Along with earning $1 billion, this film has also set up the entire Mutant Saga. A single film not only showed us Spider-Man's story, but also set up the hate between mutants and humans, introduced inhibitor collars, and prepared the groundwork for a villain whose announcement has already been made at D23. So let's see how Spider-Man Brand New Day has set up the X-Men reboot as well as its next villain. Our first point is that Spider-Man has given the instrument to imprison mutants. In Spider-Man Brand New Day, we saw that Peter goes to Bruce Banner to find a solution for the uncontrollable changes happening inside him. Peter knows that Bruce has also tried for years to control the uncontrollable nature of the Hulk, where he is able to suppress his Hulk transformation with the help of an inhibitor. In the discussion with Bruce, Peter specifically asks about his inhibitor and understands that Bruce is using target-specific short interfering RNA, meaning gene silencing. Basically, Bruce is suppressing the genetic expression that triggers the Hulk inside him. And from here Peter gets the solution to his problem. The changes happening inside Peter are connected to his arachnid DNA. His hormones are surging. His senses have become more heightened. Organic webbing has developed. And the most dangerous change is his uncontrollable self-defense mode, in which Peter loses control over himself as soon as danger arrives. But Peter doesn't want to suppress all his Spider-Man powers. He wants the dangerous and uncontrollable part of his mutation to be suppressed, while his normal spider powers remain with him. Bruce says that this is quite complex and dangerous, but theoretically possible, and this discussion leads Peter to another big idea. If a specific genetic mutation can be identified and its expression suppressed, then theoretically a universal inhibitor can also be made that can identify different types of mutations and suppress them. Now Bruce himself warns Peter that this is not just about powers. Such a universal inhibitor could potentially be used to control any powered being. And Bruce puts an important question in front of Peter. How will you decide which part of nature is good and which is bad? What if the thing you are trying to suppress is the very thing protecting you? Like in the comics, many humans try to suppress the X-Men, while in many places, the X-Men are the ones protecting them. Bruce also knows this from experience. There was a time when he wanted to get rid of the Hulk, but the Hulk saved Bruce's life again and again. And exactly the same thing is happening with Peter, because this new dangerous mutation inside him is definitely dangerous for others. But somewhere it is also working for his self-defense. But Peter at that time probably has no idea how dangerous a foundation he has laid for the future of the MCU. Because in Marvel, there is an entire species whose power is connected to their genes. These are mutants. In the comics, mutants have the X gene in their DNA. Because of this evolutionary difference, mutants are also called Homo superior. And in the comics, exactly this concept of technology is being used to control mutants. Inhibitor collars that suppress the powers of mutants. That means the technology Peter started developing to solve his problem can later be weaponized against mutants. And this doesn't just remain a theory of the future. In Spider-Man, Brand New Day, this technology reaches Messker. And this same inhibitor technology is used to imprison Jean Grey and suppress her powers. That means Peter Parker did not intend to make anyone powerless. He only wanted to control the uncontrollable changes happening inside himself. But knowingly or unknowingly, Spider-Man laid the foundation of the MCU's mutant inhibitor collar. Now we come to our next point, that someone is coming. Now we all know that Peter came to the DODC headquarters with that universal inhibitor, and there he faces the Hulk. He is not able to put that inhibitor on the Hulk, and to stop Jean, he uses that inhibitor on Jean. Later, as soon as Peter realizes his mistake, he goes back to the DODC headquarters. But after everything settles down, we see that Mesker had fled from there. On top of that, the tech made by Peter was with the DODC for a long time, where we can see that the DODC people connected some wires in it so that Jean's powers could be switched off or on. So Peter had already given a device, like a universal inhibitor, to the DODC, and the DODC was so obsessed with genetically enhanced individuals that they will definitely study, reverse engineer, and recreate this device. And in the future, the DODC will be the organization that will make mutant inhibitors in the form of a collar. Because for Peter's inhibitor to work, it has to be placed at the back of the neck, where this chip should stick to the skin. But when it didn't stick to Hulk's skin, Peter got into trouble. So a collar will work better here. But because of one mistake by Peter, he has triggered an event where the DODC is now going to control mutants for years. But now you will think who in the DODC will come up with such evil ideas, and it might be coming to your mind that William Mesker was already an evil person. But I want to tell you that apart from him, there is another bad person here. It just hasn't been revealed to us. So we all know that the DODC first came forward as an aftermath regulation organization that handled the scene after superhero battles. But slowly the DOD's jurisdiction kept increasing, and in the Wonder Man show we were shown that the DODC is no longer limited to aftermath regulation. Instead, now they have also started deciding which individuals could trigger such destruction. After that, if they find them helpful, they let them go. But if they seem suspicious, they are put in DODC jail. Now Brand New Day took this concept one step further, where we found out that the DODC is not only very interested in superpowered beings, but also in those who are genetically mutated or whose powers come from their genes. And to study this department further, they targeted Sarah Gray. Now the most terrifying thing here is that Sarah Gray and Jean Grey were orphans since childhood, and a large part of their childhood was spent in a foster home, and then she ran away from there. Now tracing people with such a life history is very difficult. But the DODC did it, and Sarah Gray was brought in for study. But the question is, who is the person inside the DODC whose interests went beyond superpowered beings to genetically mutated humans? Take a guess. Yes, that is Mr. Sinister, meaning Nathaniel Essex, friends. And recently this character's casting has been announced at D23. Marvel has cast Adam Driver in the role of Mr. Sinister for the X-Men reboot coming on May 5, 2028. So there are very high chances that Mr. Sinister will be the villain of that movie. Now many comic fans among you will know how much the connection I have made here points toward Mr. Sinister, and for those who didn't understand the comic reference, let me explain. So now let's come to Sinister plans. Nathaniel Essex was a scientist who was very obsessed with human evolution. In the comics, Nathaniel's story was from the 19th century, where he wanted to bring something new in human evolution and genetic mutation. But I don't think the MCU will want to pick up the 19th century plot because for that they would have to show Apocalypse there, and the MCU won't want to bring Apocalypse so soon. Anyway, Nathaniel was such an eccentric person about his notions and research that he even kept his dead son in his lab so that he could study human evolution and somehow bring him back to life.